Hello and welcome back to the Limit of Adhesion's Prototype Challenge. We're back at Circuito de Jerez and we're here for race 2. So my name's Mark and joining me in the commentary booth is still not Steve, he's still not well, but we've got Rich back. So Rich, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I think you just call me not Steve today and we'll be fine.
Okie dokie, that I can do, not Steve. So as we look at the grid, we've got reverse of the top 8 from race 1. So if you haven't seen that yet, go and check it out.
And we're going to start with the LMP3s in position 1 through 3. So we got Mark Zeff, Mark Brown, and Russell Bright. And then we start in the LMP2s with Dan Rice, Pavel Kuzmarek, Gavin Kelly, Stephen Maxwell, David Dugulkecki. And then we go back to the LMP3s with Tour, Rich, and then the Peppers bringing up the grid.
I'm predicting a little bit of carnage at the start as the LMP2s try and get past all the LMP3s.
Seems too like people were a little more eager to get going in this race, so we didn't have quite the delay as we did in race 1.
No, we didn't. And yeah, I'm sure the LMP2s will be eager to try and make it through the traffic as quickly as possible.
It'll be exciting for the first couple of corners, but it should sort itself out by the long back straight.
Yeah, I think the only slight hitch would be if some of the LMP2 cars make it past, but some don't.
It'd create a bit of a gap, yeah.
Might see a few desperate lunges so the LMP2 cars don't fall off the back of the leaders. Anyway, the pace car has come in and Zeff will be leading us away.
A little bit of eagerness there from the LMP2s, but I think they're just going to have to wait for a turn or two.
Indeed, and Bright gets a good launch. He's going to be challenging Brown up into the first corner, but backs out of it as we see, a little bit of blinking for Brown.
Like Pavel was going to come up the inside there and thought better of it.
Yeah, as we see Kuzmarek is off in the background. There's a little bit of carnage.
That's going to put him...
And, that's Kelly around.
Kelly around, and Kuzmarek has been put back into behind some of the LMP3s that were behind him.
Yeah, so we've got Rice is making his way through the LMP3s. He's still leading the LMP2 class. As you see there, he's getting past Brown. And Zeff has got a good lead. Rice is going to go straight up the inside. Doesn't want to waste any time at all. Rice should have...
Surprisingly, we didn't get everyone through that on that straight. So we're still intermingled here pretty well with the LMP2s and LMP3s on this first lap.
Indeed. As we see, Dugulkecki has got past Brown as well. Rice now through up into the overall lead. And Dugulkecki is trying to get past Zeff, who's leading the LMP3s. And there we go, that looks like Dugulkecki is safely through. So he will be storming after Rice.
One will be Maxwell coming up behind Mr. Zeff. That pass stick. We're starting to sort it out. And we have Tour off. And we have, looks like, Rich Meesters also. Yep.
There's a bit of carnage. Oh, Zeff spun.
Zeff spun and lost his front end, or it looks like iRacing put it back on.
Had a little tap with Brown. So I have to see if there's any... that's Pepper spinning as well.
Like somebody's thrown some oil on the track or something. Or maybe sherry.
Could well be, yeah. Yeah, I think we've seen more action and more spins and crashes in the first lap here than we did in the whole race previously.
We've got Dugulkecki challenging Rice now.
Yeah, he's going to try going around the outside, which will give him the inside for the next few corners. And looks like he's going to make that stick. So, well done, Dugulkecki. Dugulkecki will be looking to do the double now that he's got such a good lead. So I think he's going to be able to pull away from Rice.
Yep. A little bit off track there. Sampling that gravel again, just a little touch this time.
Indeed.
Brought Maxwell right into his clutches.
Exactly. Rice has his mirrors full of Maxwell. And a little squirrely, getting the power down for Dan Rice. And yeah, Maxwell has got that position.
That's another corner where you just have to get a good run. And it looks like Mark Brown is into the pits.
His car does not look particularly healthy. I wonder if it was that touch with Zeph. And yep, Zeph's off again. This pit lane is proving to be very challenging.
It's a pretty steep. If you don't get slowed down there, it's really easy to miss that pit lane. And if you've got damage, it's just going to compound the problem.
Indeed, yeah. So Bright has an absolutely storming lead already. So he's got about 6-7 seconds on Malarin. As we see Maxwell going a little bit wide. And there is Meesters. So Meesters spun on the first lap, and he's already back up to 4th.
Yep.
And he's only a couple of seconds behind fellow Cool Camel, Steve Pepper.
Seem to have camels in a row here with Pepper, Meesters, and Pepper.
I'm not going to make the joke about camels getting slipstream off each other. So here we go, up at the front, Maxwell now starting to pull away from Rice. And we'll have to see if he can close it on Tlukakeke. Tlukakeke was a good half-second quicker that lap. And they don't have too much time, only 10 laps in total. They're on lap number 4.
Does look like in Heat 1, Tlukakeke is scampering away a little bit.
Does indeed, yeah.
Sure, Maxwell is not going to go easily. We've got James Pepper trying to hunt down Meesters.
Little lock up for Pepper there and runs a little bit wide. Still keeps it on the track, but lost a little bit of time.
They have decided he had enough of the gravel in Heat 1.
Indeed, yeah.
Meesters also skidded through the corner, and that allowed Pepper to close right back up on him. Meesters chasing Pepper and Pepper chasing Meesters.
So Meesters is in a pepper sandwich. So we see Pepper's got that gap down to just 0.4 of a second now. So he's coming up to quite a fast flowing section of the track. So we'll see if he can get in the slipstream and get his head down and see if he can get a pass done on his teammate.
I think a bit tough to pass through here. It's going to depend on the outcome of coming out of the hairpin and into the first corner.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think these corners, definitely not ones to attempt an overtake on, but it's just ones that you can really focus on trying to get close to the guy that you're trying to pass and see if you can make a move. And if not into the hairpin, then set him up for a pass out of the hairpin down the next long straight, which looks like Pep's a little bit too far back to be able to do this time.
Meester's got a little bit better run, and then Steve Pepper has decided to sample that gravel trap in turn 1. Off. We've reorganized and reordered the camels, and we'll keep driving here. That's put Meesters into a podium position in 3rd place.
Indeed, so we've got Bright and Malarin both they're both a bit lonely, to be honest, in a field of their own, a little bit. And then we got these 3 Peppers, these 3 Camels, 2 Peppers and a Meesters. Pepper now looking to the inside on Meesters.
Definitely has that.
That's the younger Pepper.
That one made, yep. We'll see if there's a switchback here.
Not quite enough room. Meesters ran out of road to do that.
It's James Pepper up into 3rd position. And you're right, yeah, it looks like about 7 seconds and then 6 seconds to gap back to this little battle here. Goes wide and
that's Pepper.
Yeah, caught the gravel and caught the wall.
That's a hefty bang. That's a hefty bang against the wall.
Just caught the gravel coming out of the turn, and that just tossed him right across the gravel trap into the wall.
So that puts Meesters back up to the podium position. Pepper's had to tow, unfortunately, and Zeph never made it
out of the pits.
I don't think he ever made it out the pits after that first lap. Well, it wasn't quite first lap. Near the start of the race, that incident with Brown. So, what was looking like a very promising race for the Camels, in the space of a couple of laps, has fortunes have turned, tables have turned, and yeah, now looking slightly unfortunate.
Lukeki is he's still in the lead, but he has allowed Mr. Maxwell to close up on him, and it looks like it's close to being in draft.
Indeed. So, in the first race, we saw Lukeki hit the front. Well, he started on pole, and he just stormed away, and he looked untouchable. In this race, he got to the front, he built up that gap, and now Maxwell's just starting to reel him in slightly.
Yeah, perhaps.
But that gap was sort of 2.5, 3 seconds or so, and it's just... Maxwell's just been bringing that down, and it's now just over a second.
Yeah, perhaps David had a little incident somewhere that we didn't see as well. Seemed like pulling up, 2 seconds out in a fairly short amount of time. It probably had a little bit of an off or something.
By the way, that's put Maxwell just teetering on the edge of the slipstream range.
Back to Meesters, and now the other Pepper, the senior Pepper, is closing. And we're off sampling the gravel.
Meesters goes wide.
That brings Steve Pepper back into the podium position. Seems like everyone wants a chance at the gravel at Jerez.
So Pepper now... So he's got about 8 tenths back to Meesters. So he would have been hoping that he'd be able to get past and just sort of break the toe immediately. But Meesters he's just about sticking in that slipstream range. So yeah, this fight definitely isn't over. Still got sort of 2.5 laps left to go.
Getting to the point where it's going to be a little more difficult to close it up and make a pass. There's not a lot of really good opportunities to pass on this track. 2 or 3 corners where it makes sense.
I think especially in this second race with so many people making mistakes,
one never knows.
It might just be enough to... Yeah, exactly. It might just be enough to be able to force your opponent into a mistake and then just keep on the black stuff yourself. As you see, the headlights are coming on. The sun is starting to set. Light is dimming.
Getting down to the last pair of laps here. Always good to see fighting camels.
Indeed. Meester's now quite close behind Pepper. The fight for the final podium spot in LMP3.
Going to come down to who's going to flinch first, I think.
Oh, Meester's very late on the brakes. Yeah. Can he hold it?
Kinda, sorta.
Yeah,
held, but I think that
did a good job.
That lets Pepper get away pretty solidly there, I think.
It does. So yeah, that's taken the pressure off of Pepper massively. But I've got to admit, well held there for Meesters, because yeah, once these cars go, they're not easy to save.
Becky is coming around for the penultimate time. No white flags yet.
Not yet, no. So this is lap 9 of 10.
I've seen iRacing fool us on this occasionally, but we'll just have to wait and see.
I've seen iRacing fool us on this regularly. So You can see the sector times in the bottom. Maxwell dropped off slightly in Sector 1.
Yes,
up in Sector 2, up in Sector 3.
He is in the slipstream range.
He is. He has a hairpin and then one more lap. If he wants this win, it needs to come now.
Have to push. Little slide at the end of the hairpin cost him, but yeah, we're on the final lap.
Lugakeki is just absorbing the pressure. And there we see the gap in the bottom right. So yeah, 2 seconds. In the space of a couple of laps, Maxwell just carved away that gap and got it down to just under a second, and it's been a little bit static since then.
Yep.
Sort of marginal gains.
They definitely have a race on between them. Just running at a road.
Indeed.
Kuzmarek closing up on
the
Rice.
Final podium. Indeed. Kuzmarek, again, only has a couple more corners to get this done. But he's closed in on Rice quite quickly. We'll see if he runs out of laps, whether Kuzmarek can get the final podium.
Yeah, I'm going to run into this flowing section, and the last chance I think will be at the hairpin if a mistake is made.
Rice feeling the need to go defensive. Kuzmarek tries around the outside. Meanwhile, Lugakeki is right there. Lap traffic did look like it was going to offer an opportunity, but not enough. Lugakeki gets the win, gets the double. Maxwell in second.
Yep. Rice has.
And, oh, there's Rice. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah. Maybe so damaged because he went straight into the pits. Yeah. Kuzmarek and Kelly will also pass him. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's heartbreaking for Rice.
Yeah, he was doing really well. Would have liked to have seen him got the podium. We got Russell Bright coming around also for the double, correct?
That is correct, yeah.
He certainly is not being challenged by anyone at the moment. Malarin is 6.5 seconds back.
Yeah, I think Malarin closed in sort of a second or so over the course of the race, but yeah, not enough to threaten Bright in the slightest. There we go, out of the final hairpin and across the line. A little wiggle of the steering wheel.
So for my Canadian friends, we've had a double-double with this race.
So Malarin confirmed in second, and it looks like Steve Pepper will come out of the hairpin to get the podium. A little flash of the lights there in celebration.
Celebration from Steve, and well done.
Indeed. So, very action-packed first half of the race. Did start to settle down a little bit as we have confirmation of the results. Lugakeki gets the win from Maxwell from Kuzmarek. Yeah, heartbreaking for Rice in a podium position for the entire race until the final corner.
A small mistake, it seems. And then in the LMP3s, we have Russell Bright from Tourmalarin and Steve Pepper, with Rich Meesters, Mark Brown, James Pepper, and Mark Zeff bringing up the remaining positions.
Indeed, so we'll see how that's affected the championships.
Should be coming right up.
Here we go. So yeah, Lugakeki storming away with it at the front from Maxwell.
Yep.
100 points between them.
The LMP2 standings, it's a bit closer with Lugakeki and Maxwell, and they're pretty well out in front.
They are indeed. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a 2-horse race now between Lugakeki and Maxwell. I think Kelly might just be in with a... Yeah, Kelly is just in with a shot of the title, but it's increasingly unlikely.
LMP3s.
And in the LMP3, McLaren did extend his lead slightly over Meesters, but yeah, Meesters and Bright as well, shooting up there to take 3rd place in the championship. So yeah, all the top 3 all looking relatively close with 2 rounds to go. Anything can happen.
All to be decided in the final 2 races. And with Winsley not competing today, he didn't manage to get any points.
And in the Teams Championship for LMP2, Ray's Gitter slightly extended that lead over Wizards Fire Ruby. Stupid Aguri got ahead of Wizards Black Sapphire. But yeah, those top 2 again look very close. Still all to play for. And in the LMP3, Cool Camel Gold have jumped Wizards Blue Topaz, but other than that, it's pretty much as you were. No big movers. The top 3 teams look like they're starting to run away with it.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty well set, perhaps coming into the last 2 races. It'll be interesting to come up in our next race at Watkins Glen. Always a fun track to drive, and we'll definitely be seeing some good action there in the LMP3s and LMP2s.
That will. Once again, if you'd like to get involved and come and say hi, there's the link to our Discord, and it will be in the description as well. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. I've been Mark, joining me has been Rich.
Bye.